The 153rd boat race takes place on April the 7th, 2007, but already by mid-December the respective coaches have a good idea who will be in their blue boats come race day. For Oxford, this is a year of change, with just one returning blue following their success in 2006. At Cambridge, they have the luxury of 5 who've already experienced this unique sporting event. The Trial 8s are a chance for individuals to stake a claim for a seat and for the coach to work out which combinations of personnel will produce the best result. Oxford's Trial 8 day was to prove to be an even tougher test than usual, with high winds and rough water waiting to greet the 2 crews, named Hammer and Sickle. This was not to be a race for the faint-hearted. Sickle won the toss and chose the Surrey station. At the start, Hammer made the better progress, but by the time the crews passed Fulham Football Ground, it was Sickle beginning to dictate the pace. Under Hammersmith Bridge and Sickle, wearing red, were moving strongly ahead. But the worst of the conditions was still to come, as the crews rounded the Surrey Bend and headed for the Chiswick Steps. Both coxes were trying to hug the shore to keep out of the worst of the wind, but the rough water was still a significant test as they passed under Barnes Bridge with the finish in sight. By the time Sickle crossed the line, the race had long been decided. It all provided coach Sean Bowden with plenty to think about, considering the conditions.
I mean, the rough water's fine. I mean, it's a good challenge, and I thought both crews coped with that pretty well, and that's the boat race. So I thought, the main thing that came out of it is just watching how the crews develop before the race, and then you don't quite know the result, but it's just interesting seeing how different combinations start to emerge, and see how that's developed over a relatively short amount of time into a racing performance. And I think we do learn quite a lot from this, and we start to see how different combinations can work and how people combine together to be able to produce the right kind of rhythm and speed needed to move the 8 fast.
So just now, literally just after you've come ashore, you've got a better idea of who's going to be in the blue boat next year?
Probably it may not even have changed that much than before, because you kind of get a feeling for these things in the training process. But certainly, I think some people did a really good job, and you start to see some possibilities. A few question marks, obviously, over other people, and you have to respond to your results. That's clear.
The following day was altogether calmer, and Cambridge's 2 crews, Stay Calm and Just Relax, reflected that mood. Stay Calm's cox, Rebecca Delbiggin, would be pitting her wits against Russell Glenn on board Just Relax. In the shadow of the setting December sun, the crews set off at a fast pace, and it was Stay Calm with Stroke, Torsten Engelmann and Sydney gold medalist Kieran West, which established an early lead. But Just Relax, with another German world champion, Sebastian Schulte, on board, doggedly tried to close the gap. The umpire had to intervene on several occasions as Stay Calm tried to close the door on their rivals. By mid-race, it was nip and tuck with the crews within touching distance. But Stay Calm did just that, and by Barnes Bridge were back in control. The eventual margin at the finish was just 2 seconds, giving proof, if it were needed, that Cambridge have an exceptionally strong squad this year. It all adds up to selection problems for coach Duncan Holland.
They were picked to be equal. The ideal outcome was a dead heat, so we were not far off. We paid some attention to combinations within the crews, so scattered down the crew there were people sitting together whom we think go well together, so that was also interesting.
People say that you are going to be the favourites this year because is it 5 returning Blues you've got and Oxford only 1? How do you approach it when people are already tipping you to win this far in advance?
I don't pay a great deal of attention to that because the boat race isn't one on paper. The Oxford crews will be good, I'm sure of that. They'll be ready on the day, and reputations don't count for much. And if you go back to about 93, there was a similar situation where the underdog won. So we'll take absolutely nothing for granted.
So that's the coach's view. The final word on the significance of the Trial 8s belongs to the two presidents, Cambridge's Tom James and Oxford's Robin Esmond-Frey.
Really, it's the only opportunity we get to put 2 boats side by side over the course before the boat race. And it's boat race day all of a sudden, and you find yourself staring down 7 kilometres of rough water. So to have done it at least once before is absolutely invaluable. Yeah.
I was immensely impressed with both crews. Both crews stepped up on the day. And that's one thing we talked a lot about this year is getting it right on the day. It's great putting all the preparation work in and practicing and making it feel really nice during training, but getting it right on the day is essential. And so much of the boat race, the outcome, happens on the day.